Good morning. Welcome back to Pathfinder IAS. Now we will take question from 10 questions from question number 31 to question number 40. Now we will start with question number 31. Recently there was a growing awareness in our country about the importance of Himalayan nettle because it is found to be sustainable source of. Now, before attempting this question, we must have the knowledge to solve this question. Whether we have read about Himalayan nettle or not, whether any current affair has covered this, whichever current affair you might have been reading, whether that current affair has covered this Himalayan nettle or not. Depending on that, try to attempt this question. If you don't know anything, if you don't know about Himalayan nettle, please avoid this question. Even now, there are conflicting answers. Some answer key say A as an answer, some key says B, A, C. We don't know. The correct answer of this question will be released by UPSC in next few months. Okay. In the actual exam, I didn't attempt this question as my policies. I won't attempt a question where I don't know anything. If I know nothing, then I don't attempt the question. So in the exam, I skip this question. Okay, we will move to question number 32. For the measurement and estimation of which of the following are satellite images or remote sensing data used. Now, as compared to 31, it's a completely factual question. 31 is completely factual. 32 is it's an open possibility based question. What they are asking? They are asking for what purpose we can use satellite images or remote sensing data. So read the statements. Chlorophyll content in the vegetation, greenhouse gas emissions, land surface temperatures. If you read these statements, you won't find any reason to remove these statements or to consider them as wrong. Chlorophyll content in the vegetation of a specific location, it can be counted. Then greenhouse gas emission from rice paddies of specific location, yes, it can be counted. Whereas we know that many satellites are used to count the greenhouse emission by various countries. Okay, India's emission, China's emission. Then land surface temperatures of a specific location. Okay, it all depends on the radiation. By analyzing radiation, they understand the material, the content, or depending on the radiation, different types of radiation, they will identify whether it is greenhouse emission, land surface temperature. Okay, it all depends on the relationship between radiation and the actual object that is being observed. So the answer of this question is D. Okay, all of the above is possible. Consider the now question number 33. Consider the following states: Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha. With reference to states mentioned above in terms of percentage of forest cover to the total area of the state, which one of the following is the correct ascending order? Now, just focus on the actual demand of the question. The actual demand of the question says that we have to arrange states according to the ascending order of percentage of forest cover upon total area of a state. That means it is not asking about how much forest cover is there in a particular state, but rather it is asking about how much percentage of that state is forest cover, and accordingly you have to arrange those states. So if consider if a state is, let us say, 10,000 square kilometer, its area is 10,000 square kilometer, and at the same time the forest cover there is 10,000 square kilometer, that is the complete state is a forest land, then that ratio will be 1. that would be the highest forest covered area, okay, according to the percentage of the states area. Now in that order we have to arrange these 4 states. Let us say you don't know anything, but you in general you know that in Maharashtra, west coast and western Ghat, there is a very very deep forest. But if you think about Marathwada and Vidarbha region in Maharashtra, the forest is nearly absent in this area. So if you think that whole Maharashtra forest is here, somewhere here, the whole Maharashtra in the middle is nearly there is no forest. So in that case you can say the whole area of Maharashtra and just little bit of Maharashtra is forested as compared to the whole area of Maharashtra. So Maharashtra should be at the lowest, ascending order. Okay, that means Maharashtra should come first. All the options with 3. Any doubt? 3 should be first. Now we will think about remaining 3: Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Madhya Pradesh. Though Madhya Pradesh is a very big state, let us say like this. Here around Rajasthan, desert like, little bit here desert like, forest. So not all of Chhattisgarh is forest. MP is forest. Whole area of MP and little bit of areas of forest. So forest area upon area of state. So it could be somewhere in the middle. Okay, not all of MP is forest, but it is more than that of Maharashtra. Now we will come to comparison between Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Now take the example of Chhattisgarh. It is like this: here Maharashtra, MP, Odisha, Telangana. If you see the map, you will see Dandakaran forest here and Bilaspur related forest here. So whole of Chhattisgarh is seem to be forest. The total forest area upon the area of the state is like the total area of Chhattisgarh is forest. So in that case it would be the highest one. So Chhattisgarh number is 1. 1 should be the last. Okay, why not Odisha? Odisha like this. Odisha, there is a lot of coastal area, and that coastal area is having paddy cultivation. So that part is not forested area. Okay, so whole of the state is not forest. That's why Odisha will not be the state with highest forest cover. Any doubt? General observation and understanding of atlas will help you in solving this question. Now question number 34. Which of the following statements are correct about deposits of methane hydrate? Now the word is methane and then hydrate. Hydrate means water related. And as you know, methane is CH4, natural gas. Global warming might trigger with the release of methane gas. Obviously, methane is a greenhouse gas. So if it is released into the atmosphere, it might lead to more warming of the atmosphere, global warming. The first statement is correct. Come to second. Large deposits of methane hydrate are found in tundra and under sea floor. Yes, methane, it is formed due to like decomposition without oxygen. Okay, anaerobic reaction. So when in tundra region, under the snowfall, like under the ice, the vegetation gets decomposed and methane is formed there, and the same thing happens in sea floor as well. Okay, The second is right. Third, methane in the atmosphere oxidizes to carbon dioxide in decade or two. It's also a true fact. The if you read Shankaray's well, you will find this fact, because all the greenhouse gases which are in the atmosphere, they get decomposed after few days, few years. Here you can one easy reaction for this could be CH4, let us say O3. Someday, after some days, it may form CO2 and H2O. Oxidizes means oxygen is added. Okay. Answer is D. Now question number 35. Now consider the following: carbon monoxide, methane, ozone, sulfur dioxide, CO, CH4, O3 and SO2. Which of the following are released into atmosphere due to burning of crop biomass residue? Here there are conflicting answers. One is C, one is D. For me, I took 1 and 4 as an answer, but many answer keys are saying 1, 2, 3, 4 as answer. What I thought in the exam, that suppose I am taking any waste, any, like let us say residue, crop residue, and if I burn them, carbon monoxide will be there, of course, because it's not a complete reaction. Partial combustion, if there is a partial combustion, carbon monoxide comes out. If it is complete combustion, then carbon dioxide comes out. But if it is partial, then carbon monoxide, a little bit of carbon monoxide comes out. Methane, I thought that methane itself is a fuel. So when I am burning a biomass, it will get burnt. Then ozone in general, a ground level ozone is generally a photochemical product. Then sulfur dioxide, in general sulfur content is there, so sulfur dioxide also comes out. So I thought CO and SO2, that is 1 and 4 should have been the answer. But as we know that there is a there are doubts whether C is an answer or D is the answer. Let's hope for the UPSC. The UPSC will release its key and then we will come to know the exact answer. Now question number 36. Consider the following pairs. First is Adriatic Sea, Albania, Black Sea, Croatia, Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan, Mediterranean Sea, Morocco, Red Sea, Syria. At least you should try to remove the, if you even it may not be possible for you to remember all the seas and all the countries around them, but due to with your general observation of atlas, you can eliminate few of the pairs. For example, you know Red Sea, Syria. Red Sea is here. This is Egypt. This is Saudi Arabia. Here somewhere Red Sea, right? You can at least remove this. If you remove this, these two options gone. Come here, Mediterranean Sea, Morocco, both have to be the answer. Now the debate is whether 2 and 3, 2 is right or 3 is right, because 1 and 4 are there in the answer. Now focus our attention on these two only. My general understanding regarding maps says that Black Sea and Croatia are not related at all. Like let us say this is Greece, here is Croatia, and this is Adriatic Sea. Okay, and here somewhere here Turkey, and Black Sea somewhere here. Okay, so these are not close to each other, so you can remove Black Sea, Croatia. Answer is B. There is the other way as well. There are shortcuts like Tariq. Okay, for the countries around Caspian Sea. So you can use that logic. Then Caspian Sea, one of the keys Kazakhstan. Clear? Before using any kind of tricks or shortcuts, your understanding of the map should be little bit good, so that you can eliminate one or two statements, one or two pairs, and then one or two options. Somehow you can come to the answer directly. Now question number 37, among the following, which one is the largest exporter of rice in the world in the last 5 years? Now this is very factual question. In such questions, it's better if you leave such questions, because very limited scope for logic is there, but still you can remove two options, and the remaining two you can easily guess, or like mark any one, like it will turn into 50-50 type question. If you remove two options, then among remaining two you can at least choose an answer. Now we can remove Vietnam and Myanmar. Which one of the following is largest exporter? A country exports when it fulfills its own demand of rice consumption, and if it has to turn into largest exporter, that means it has to have more growing area. Okay, Myanmar and Vietnam are very small as compared to India and China. Okay, and India and China are very well known for the rice cultivation and rice production. Even now India is producing a lot of rice. So it's up to you, in the among these two you have to choose your answer. The source of this question we can't know, we won't know which could be the direct source. In general, I think that economy survey might be the source of this question. Answer is B, India. Now this question, consider the following pairs: Banderpuch, Yamuna; Bara Singri, Chenab; Milam, Mandakini; Siachen, Nubra; Jemu, Manas. Now it is not possible for you to remember all the rivers and all the glaciers, but when you read NCERT well, when you read our basic sources thoroughly, you can easily solve this question. Here the same logic as we use in a question number 36, that you can eliminate few of the options depending on the your little bit knowledge on various statements, various pairs. Banderpuch Yamuna, it is given in NCERT directly. Okay, Banderpuch Yamuna, this is correct. If you, then you can remove this. Now Bara Singri, Chenab, I don't know whether all of you know or not. Milam, Mandakini, but if you read NCERT well, which NCERT? Indian Physical Geography. Okay, that NCERT if you read, there is a chapter on rivers. Okay, then they have covered Indus river system first, then Ganges river system first, then Ganges river, and then Brahmaputra river system. In Ganges river system, there is a paragraph on Yamuna river. There Banderpuch is mentioned, and then there is a chapter on Ganges river system where they have mentioned Milam glacier in case of Sheryu river. Sheryu river, it is known as Chok as well as Kali river, and they have said there that the Milam glacier is in the Nepal area, and from Nepal that river emerges and then it enters into India. So Mandakini, where is it? Mandakini is in UK, Uttarakhand, and it is one of the tributary of Ganga. So it is far away from Nepal. So third you can remove. If you remove 3, you directly get an answer. Okay. Now question number 39. In India, the use of carbofuran, methylparathione, phorate and trizophos is viewed with apprehension. These chemicals are used as. Now for common people like us, if you have known these words, then it's very easy to solve this question. But if you don't know, as I have said in this question number 31, that if you don't know anything, please try to avoid such questions, and even if you want to attempt at the last, not at the start. Okay. So one of my doctor friend told me that the answer is pesticides. Now last question of the day. Under the Ramsar Convention, it is mandatory on the part of the government of India to protect and conserve all the wetlands. You all know that there are few sites in India which are Ramsar sites. Earlier those were 27, now those have been increased. I don't know exact number, but not all the wetlands are covered. So you can remove first. Now there are two options, B and C. 3 is in the answer. The debate is regarding B. The Wetland Conservation and Management Rules 2010 were framed by the Government of India based on recommendations of Ramsar Convention. I think this statement is right. So then answer should be B, 2 and 3. Thank you for watching this video. We will take next 10 lectures in the upcoming videos. Till then, thank you. Please do like, comment and subscribe to Pathfinder IAS channel in the YouTube. Thank you.